Welcome to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. Get ready to be inspired, uplifted, and connected to the miraculous energy of unconditional love that I call Mother Mary. If you're a highly sensitive, highly creative entrepreneur or light worker, and you want to magnify your impact and your intuition, you are in the right place. I'm your host, Reverend Frances Faden, interfaith minister, intuitive coach, and author of Meditation is Friendship with God. I can't wait to share miraculous stories, books, meditations, messages, and interviews with other miraculous light workers just like you. Are you ready to magnify your miracles? What are we waiting for? Let's get started. Hello, my miraculous friend, and welcome to another episode of the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. This is Reverend Frances Faden, and I'm so grateful that we get to spend this time together helping you to magnify your miracles. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite things, of course, is books. You know I love books. I think books are my friends, and I'm excited to introduce you to my new friend. I just met this friend a couple of weeks ago, and I'm so excited to share all the beautiful things that are in this book to help you magnify your miracles. So let's take a few deep breaths together, get ourselves grounded and centered, breathing in the energy of expansion, breathing out anything we no longer need. And as we let the mind and the body come into this present moment, feeling that beautiful divine presence supporting us, knowing that whatever you need to hear today is exactly what you're going to hear to help you magnify your miracles. Let's take one more deep breath together in gratitude, and we can begin. All right, my friend, well, welcome once again. And if you are a longtime listener of the podcast, you will know that I love books. I love sharing books with you. I consider books to be my friends. I think the universe talks to me through books. And if you're brand new to the podcast and you've never heard me before, I love books. I love them so, so much. And I find them to be just a constant source of inspiration and messages. And so about a month ago or so, I was reading a book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And that's a book that I will do a review on at a future time. And I'd forgotten that I'd had that book. And as I was looking through it, I was inspired to do a little Google search on Julia Cameron to see, what is she up to lately? And I came across this video and this interview of her where she talked about this book called Creative Ideas, A Spiritual Compass for Personal Expression by Ernest Holmes. And she said how this book came to be in her possession before she had written The Artist's Way. And it so inspired her. And the thing that she said that she got out of it was not just the inspiration to be creative, but it was also the confirmation that the universe is creative and that the universe is friendly and that the energy of creativity will cooperate with us if we do show up. So I'll talk to you again and in the future about that book. But in the meantime, I want to tell you about this book. Now, the only thing that's a little strange about it is it's a relatively small book. It's got kind of a reading for the day in it, which is great because you can open it up randomly, which I am going to do for us and see what the message is for all of us today. But when I looked on Amazon, it was only available as a used book, and it was like $50 or $75, something crazy. So I had to do a little bit of searching, and I did find at a church called, I think it was called the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa, California. They had it, and there it was for $14.95. So I will put that link in the show notes. You can also go to scienceofmind.com and see if it's there because it's published by the Science of Mind Publishing. Now, why did they publish it? Because Ernest Holmes is the founder of Science of Mind. He wrote the book Science of Mind and the practice that's called religious science. Now, it's changed over the years, and I might not be speaking the right things because I think they had a split at some point. And I think most of the churches now are called Centers for Spiritual Living, I think, but I could be wrong with that. But anyway, Ernest Holmes is at the core of it, and he is such a profound teacher. Well, this little book had been out of publication, and when Julia Cameron started talking about it and she got really famous with The Artist's Way, she looked to see, could she do her own version of it? Could she publish it under her own company? And they had said no, but she did do the foreword. The foreword is by Julia Cameron. So why do I love this book? Because I picked it up and I just opened it and I got the exact message that I needed for that day. On page 90, God lives in me. And it was exactly what I needed to hear of what was going on with me, mentally, physically, on all these different levels. And it just is like medicine for your mind. It reminds you, oh yeah, the universe loves me. Oh yeah, I'm one with this power. Oh, wait a minute. No matter what's going on the outside, this is what's going on the inside. So I'm going to read a little bit of it to you from the foreword. So hang on one second as I open this for you. But it has all these different categories. So the category of business and success, the category of right action and problem solving, the category of health, category of relationships and affairs, the category of peace of mind and happiness. Pretty much everything that a person might need. So here we go. So in the beginning of the foreword, that's page 10, this is page 11. And on the bottom of page 11, it says, it was more than 20 years ago that composer Billy May handed me a copy of these prayers. They'll change your life, he said, and with a knowing twinkle. He was absolutely right. I felt the prayers stretch and unkink my mind, the way that a good long walk does when you finally get out of the house. I think that spirituality, a lot of us live in the house of our own ideas, our limited thinking, and so much time indoors keeps us from enjoying the arched azure bowl of the sky, not to mention the grandeur and loftiness of our own true natures. Holmes saw all of this. And then this is Julia Cameron that's speaking, and she says, ours remains largely a Calvinist culture. Spiritually, we carry a shabby robe of self-contempt. We tell ourselves that our dreams and desires are just our ego. We chide ourselves for dreaming, focusing on the flaws in our dreams, in our world, and in ourselves. The prayers in this tiny book can change all that. They may make you, as they did me, begin to believe in a benevolent and supportive world, a world friendly to our dreams and desires, our hopes and aspirations. The prayers of Ernest Holmes are alchemical. They convert adversity to opportunity, loss to gain, sorrow to wisdom. They are positive, affirmative, and instructive. Like good medicine, they do not deny sickness, but they do heal it by restoring us to health. Ernest Holmes was and remains a great spiritual teacher. These small prayers carry a charge of grace. They are pocket-sized but powerful. You can read them on the subway or in the suburbs. They can start your day or lay it gently to rest. In hard times, they are calmly hopeful. In joyous times, they are gently grounding. Any challenge, difficulty, or goal becomes right-sized as these prayers draw to scale the grandeur of mind and the power of divine power to put all things right. I have used these prayers to write books and compose music. Holmes makes the great creator accessible as a power within us all. I have used these prayers for comfort at times of death and as courage in times of personal challenge, physical, financial, creative. I have found them a comfort in loss and an alchemist's formula for making gold in the dross of disappointment. My book of creative recovery, The Artist's Way, is grounded on these bedrock principles. For me, Holmes is the modest master, the spiritual magician who transforms trouble into that magical creature, opportunity. Holmes's optimism, like the sacred unicorn, is rare and real and exquisite. Let me be clear what I mean by his optimism. I do not find these prayers to be Pollyanna. They are clear-eyed and clear-headed about life's difficulties. There is no denial in them. Instead, they have earned experience that says, with divine help, all is always well. And for Holmes, this is no mere theory. It is his conviction and experience. It is the result of his science of mind. He's experimented with spiritual law and found it sound as well as safe. It is worth trusting, he assures us, and we ourselves are a sacred trust waiting to be tapped. Creative Ideas hands us the keys to the kingdom. We are wealthy and beautiful beyond our dreams. This tiny book of prayers will open your heart to its natural generosity towards life, where we are each far more than we imagine, and becoming that more is what these small prayers will bring about. Isn't that a beautiful introduction? So now, my friend, I'm going to open this just to a random page. So we're going to ask Spirit, we're going to ask the Divine Presence, what is the message that everybody who's listening to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast needs to hear today? And I'm just thumbing back and forth until I feel the pull of a particular page that wants to talk to you. Here it is. Page 56. I accept right action. And then the quote from Psalm 18 is, as for God, his way is perfect. So this is your reading, and then I'll read you your prayer. To be effective, prayer must be affirmative, but it's not enough merely to affirm the presence of God. We must add to this realization the thought that divine intelligence is acting in and through us now. Prayer is not wistful or wishful thinking, nor is it an escape from objective reality. To get lost in our prayers might give us an unconscious desire to escape from the activities of life. Therefore, we affirm that divine intelligence not only knows what to do, but also impels us to act on its knowing. How powerful is that? So here is this prayer for you. I hand my life, my affairs, and my problems over to divine intelligence, to the power that knows how to do everything. I do this in the complete conviction that I receive only good and right action into my experience. I know there is nothing in me that can doubt either the divine goodness or the operation of its law in my life. I believe that everything necessary to the fulfillment of my every good desire is now in full operation, that all the circumstances in my life are tended to rightly bringing them about. Whatever I need to do, I am impelled to do, knowing I am intelligently guided. I accept the new good that comes into my life. Well, my friend, that was picked just for you. Now, what I recommend that you do, if you can get this book, is you can pick one every day and get a message for the day. But I actually have found that if you take one of these and you go over it and over it and over it in your mind, they call it spiritual mind treatment, is the form of prayer they use in religious science. And you go over this over and over in your mind. Do it several times in a day. Do it once a day for a couple of weeks. It goes deeper and deeper and deeper into your subconscious mind. And unlike affirmations which are affirming something, wanting them to be true, this is true. This is actually the truth. So there's a little bit less resistance on the subconscious level when we're saying something that our soul knows to be true. Our soul knows that the universe is friendly. Our soul knows that we already have that oneness. Our soul knows that we are creative beings and that we are being guided. Our mind might push that away and say, wait a minute, but our soul knows that. And when our soul knows that and we get our mind on board with the truth of our soul, that's another way that we magnify our miracles. So that's page 56, my friend. And I encourage you to pick up this book if you can and make it your own. And have it on your desk as I have it with mine. And I pick it up and I take a look at it and I reread my prayer and I say it with conviction because I know it's the truth. I would love to hear if that prayer resonated with you, if these ideas resonate with you. Please feel free to leave me a comment. I love hearing your thoughts about it. And I always answer all the comments that are left. And just always remember, my friend, that the key to magnifying your miracles is to know your miracle is already here. God bless you. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. I'm so grateful to be able to spend this time with you. If you want even more inspiration, feel free to visit my website, francisfaden.com or magnifyyourmiracles.com. And if you did enjoy this episode, I would really appreciate it if you left a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever it is that you connect with awesome podcasts. Remember, the key to magnifying your miracles is remembering that your miracle is already here.